Regardless of whether you're e-commerce, online, offline, beauty, wholesale retailer, clearly as a marketer, you've got to have an element of planning. That's clearly one of your challenges, I'm imagining. The next few months, clearly just you can't predict it. So how are you both managing that within your teams and within the wider company?
So actually, the planning is really, really difficult overall, because if you think about it as a business, no business department works in silo. And I think if I give you an example of an eyeshadow palette, buying an eyeshadow palette, actually behind the scenes, there are so many different elements to consider and think about. So the eyeshadow palette itself needs to be manufactured by the brand. There's componentry, plastic, a lot of the times this comes from China, and then there's the actual product inside it, comes from Italy very often, and those were the two major countries which were seriously locked down. So lots of brands weren't actually physically able to produce their products, which ultimately affects all of the functions of the business. It's not a case of increased demand, increased stock, increased sales. Unfortunately, it just wasn't that easy. And then with our shipping providers as well, lots of countries consistently getting embargoed on a daily basis. We'd receive updates where we just cannot ship there, which means our entire e-commerce team had to change our the back-end tech. So we couldn't physically allow people to select those countries, or we had to have a pop-up to advise them that we can't ship to them temporarily. And then also from our distribution center point of view as well, with increased orders meant more picking and packing. But, with social distancing, we had to allow for, smaller shifts of people so we could social distance from that perspective as well. It impacts picking and packing. So all of these are things that we have to take into account when putting together a marketing strategy. And it's a good problem to have, but you don't want to be pushing too many things and driving that demand if we can't actually meet it from a logistical point of view.